What is up guys, and welcome back to my channel. We now have the full patch notes for the upcoming DLC for Stranger's Paradise, which is the Wanderer of the Rift, and we have a lot to talk about. Nothing too major has been changed, other than one big nerf that could have you change up your build drastically if you were using that ability. The DLC and the update is set to launch on October 26th, so that's tomorrow, so we have a lot to look forward to. With all these new changes and improvements, it's now a great time to jump back into the game. We will go over all the main points that I've come across in the notes. There is a lot coming in the update. If you wanted to check out the notes out yourself in its entirety, I will leave a link to the article in the description below. So let's get right into the patch notes. Firstly, we have a new feature which is equipment fusing. It doesn't give us any description on how this feature will function. All that we know is that it can be unlocked after progressing through the Rift Labyrinth. We will just have to wait and see when the update drops what this equipment fusing actually does. We also have 4 new Trials of the Dragon King being added. With these new trials, we should be able to earn even more dragon treasures with each mission if we are able to max out on all these trials. We get some added functionality to the Smithy and some of the equipment as well. Accessories will now have equipment levels. Rather than just being an item on its own, now it will also have a level attached to it like all the other armor pieces. The Smithy will also be able to raise these levels on the accessories, as well as even more rarer accessories can now be obtained. That's actually really good to see. As of right now, some of the lower rarity accessories are actually better than the higher rarity ones. We also have a buff to all the basic job affinities at 400%. Jobs like the Swordsman, Ronin, Mage, and all those basic jobs that you have in the beginning now have new effects that can be added to enhance the power of their final mastery. We don't know what will be added onto each one, but it should make it more viable to get these affinities to 400% now as well. Now this new feature is what we've all been asking for a really long time. We finally have a Transmog feature. Thank God, now I can make my guard look the way I want him. The appearance feature has been added to the edit presets menu, which will allow you to change cosmetic equipment. Also now from the edit party screen, Jax's appearance can be changed to that of an ally not current in the party as well. For those who like playing solo, you can now do it with a different character, even if you don't have any of the party members running with you in the mission. Also during a mission, Jax's appearance can also be changed to Astos from the edit party screen as well, another character that you can play as. We also got some good quality of life improvements by adding more filters to the battle settings screen, which should make finding items a lot easier. And we get increased inventory and storage space as well. I am super stoked for the Transmog feature and can't wait to play and look cool at the same time. The Smithy got another buff as well. Increasing job affinities at the Smithy can now be increased by increments of up to 10. As of right now, you can increase the job affinity in increments of 3, and doing it 5 times results in a total of 15% bonus affinity. Now you can increase the affinity to up to 50%. This is huge. With how powerful the gear will be in the DLC, getting an even more 50% added on top of it will just be even better. I can't imagine how much you'll be able to get all the way to 400% in a single build. All great swords, katanas, knuckles, daggers, lances and staves got a big stat boost. This is to compensate the fact that you cannot carry a shield, so we get increased effects of equipment that occupies multiple slots. On top of that, we get increased job affinity bonuses on weapons that cannot be used with shields as well. So overall, all weapons that cannot be used with shields got big stat and affinity boost. Then we have some weapon and attack adjustments. Some are pretty straightforward as increased recovery speed and just making everything function a lot smoother. We have some interesting ones like the katanas, where forward attack links can now be chained into the rear attack links. Rear attack links can now be chained into the Ascension stance, and after using a combo ability or any forward or rear attack links during Ascension stance, he'll return to Ascension stance as well. Overall, it's making Ascension stance a lot more viable. Still, there is no way of recovering MP or making attacks be considered normal attacks during Ascension stance, which is still a bummer. Now here's where we discuss the most major part of this entire patch notes. Hope you are prepared for this because it's gonna hit hard. Firstly, they buffed Mighty Strikes. It was already pretty good in my opinion. I don't know if they really need to increase the effect, but still good to have more damage. Then the one and only big nerf from this entire patch. The max MP will no longer increase while CHAOSBRINGER is active. It will no longer increase while CHAOSBRINGER is active. I'm not sure if it's any and all sorts of max MP regen, such as the 400% on the Black Mage, 250% on the Cyclic Warrior, or even just soul bursting. If you're unable to recover any sort of MP during CHAOSBRINGER, I would just find it really hard to make full use of it. Builds like the Sage and Cyclic Warrior all depend on regenerating that max MP, so we can have CHAOSBRINGER active almost indefinitely. With this nerf, it's gonna be really hard to manage your MP on jobs like the Sage. If no sort of MP can be recovered during CHAOSBRINGER, then CHAOSBRINGER is just gonna be very rarely used. I hope the devs know what they were doing with this change. Then we got some adjustments to jobs and their affinities as well. Some notable ones are the explosive fist. We got increased damage on consecutive hits and sped up the timing at which a chain cancel can be performed. One big change is to the invincible skill on the Knight Affinity. This is the skill that makes you fully invincible to all and any attacks while you're in Lightbringer, but the negative is the duration of Lightbringer is greatly reduced. Now the Lightbringer duration is not reduced, but getting hit by an enemy attack when Lightbringer is active will reduce the duration instead. I'm not sure how I feel about this actually. Is it a buff or a nerf? I can't really say. With how high your affinities can reach in the DLC, I still think just having Knights at 400% as a backup to be fully invincible can never be a bad thing. The Berserker also got quite a few buffs. While Berserker is active, switching battle sets will negate their effects but not cancel the corresponding status. This basically means that while Berserker is active, switching a battle set would negate their effects. However, if the battle set is switched back, the effects of these job actions will be restored. So this way, you will not have to use your MP to proc Berserk again. It will always be active when you switch back into your jobs. The Raider class on the Berserker, which has the ability Adrenaline, now also increases the effect of Berserk, so we should get even more damage from the Adrenaline skill. The Samurai Affinity at 200%, which is the power of Perseverance, got a slight nerf. This is the damage boost we get from chain cancelling jobs. We didn't get a big nerf in damage, but it's just its duration. This nerf is not so major to not have in any of your secondary jobs. It is still always good to have this on. The Evoker got a buff to literally all its affinities as well as the spirit itself. The duration of Shackle, Heal, Interrupt has been increased along with the damage boost to its Blast Wave. I just recently made a build on Evoker, so I wonder how much stronger it will be now. The Paladin got a buff to its Holy Fang ability to give increased damage while at max MP. Then we got a nerf to the damage of Flare Breath on the Summoner. Now I'm not sure if this is good or bad actually, if it's a good nerf or if it was actually needed. The Flare Breath is actually really strong on the Summoner, so I get why it got a nerf, but just how much damage is reduced we're not sure about it. We will have to wait and see. Right now it can kill bosses so quickly, even on a build focused on strength and intellect. Then the last thing is we get increased affinity from any of your job master points. And that is all that is coming with the DLC. Some really good changes and additions, and some like the CHAOSBRINGER got hit really hard. We will have to go in and see how this nerf is going to affect the ability itself. It definitely won't be as good as it was before. We are still unsure on the equipment fusing and how that works, so if you have any theories on what it could be, then let me know. What do you guys think of the patch? Do you guys like the changes made to the CHAOSBRINGER? Are you excited for the new Transmog system being added? I'm just happy that Ninja didn't get any sort of nerfs. The tools or even using the chain cancelling method to get max MP at the start of every fight is still going to be used. Let me know what you guys all think. I would love to hear from you all. I will catch you all next time.